Yeah, so the question is about cortisol, which is something our body makes in response to stress. So you guys want to comment?
Yeah, cortisol basically, every time a stress is introduced, the cortisol basically in the body, of course, just spikes. It tells the body basically to store fat. Okay? It just tells the body, it says, hey, I'm going, and it doesn't, the brain doesn't know. It says, you pricked your finger. Oh my gosh, cortisol goes up. It thinks it's in famine of some sort. So immediately it tells, the body. So if the question is how do you want to regulate the cortisol? I'm sorry? You can, yes, it's regulated. You can definitely regulate it with certain, with foods and certain things that you can definitely do on an everyday basis. For instance, if you're going to do a diet, of course, we just talked about sugars over here. It's the same thing in a lot of aspects of sugars. Why? Because it causes the insulin levels to spike. So you don't want that to necessarily kind of continue. The carbohydrates, people that are endurance, I don't know. Do we have any endurance athletes or people that do like 5Ks and all that stuff? So you like to load up on some carbs, right? So, carbohydrates, if used properly, can be done correctly if you know how, because these guys are going to burn this off. But for an everyday individual that's not necessarily doing a 5K or doing a 10K or anything of this nature, you got to watch that, and so you got to keep those insulin levels. So I was talking about cinnamon, for instance. Cinnamon will help to regulate the blood sugar levels, thereby doing that. There's also teas. I know it's not necessarily, we don't consider that food, but you can do things like chamomile, things of this nature, just to kind of, keep that dim. There's ashwagandha, which is phenomenal as well. It's a phenomenal one, and it's kind of more of a broad time because it can do a lot of things. It can actually help with fatigue and tiredness and so forth, but it also can actually help with stress levels, so to kind of manage the stress levels too. Valerian teas, things of this nature. There's all kinds of, whether they're teas or foods, can do that. Believe it or not, pasta. Not in large amounts, mind you. But you could definitely do some pastas, and pastas is also a de-stressor too, because it's even though it's pasta is a carbo, you can actually take a little bit at a time and not like large amounts, and then it can actually kind of de-stress you a little bit because it's considered like a comfort food.